Okay, this time we have ColorKit by CrumplePop. It's 34 color presets and extensive color correction tools. Now let's take a look. You go to Effects and you find it, and it will be here under Video, CrumplePop ColorKit. As you can see, there's various presets we can find. Now there we go, we've dragged one on. So it doesn't just apply the effect, what it has, as you can see, but it also gives you preset sliders. So you don't just drag a pre-made effect on and just go for it like some presets or effects you buy. This actually does give you some various options to tweak. So we have here primary color adjustment, so we can adjust that how we like it. Then we have a primary grade intensity. So how intense is it? Is it very intense, like in this case very green, or pretty much no effect at all? Let's have a bit of intensity to it. Primary saturation, so how saturated are the colors? Very, or even none at all, very black and white, or somewhere in the middle. Let's have it there. And the brightness. Then we can select our different colors. So we have a secondary mid, and secondary shadows. Let's have a look. This is a highlight. We can change color here. Let's have like a purpley. Then for secondary mid-tones, let's have maybe a yellow. Maybe brighten the yellow up. And we can do the same for the shadows. And in this case, let's put a bit of blue into the shadows. There we go. I think you get the idea. Then we have one more slider, which is secondary intensity, which is the intensity of these secondaries here. And we can go brighten it right up, right down, or somewhere in the middle. And there you go. And you can keep adjusting it till you get to whatever you want. Or we can even actually just disable this by unticking it, and it's turned off, but all of our settings are still there. So if we want, we can then scroll through and find another one. That's just cool, and this basically cools the image down, gives it a bit of a blue tint, etc. Then we can see if we like that, and if so, how do we want to perhaps adjust the intensity, things like that. And we can go back and forth seeing which ones we prefer. This is for Final Cut, as you can see, and let's just have a look at what some are that are available. So let's just select somewhere here. Now we have this one, or Amethyst, we have Urban Deep, we have Urban Dirty, we have Shine, we have Bliss, we have Burnt, we have Cold, we have Dramatic. And if we roll our slider over here on the previews, we do get a preview over here as well. So we don't have to actually drag them on to see what they might look like. We can just hover over each of them and try them out before we actually add them. End of line, there's Frostbite, another sort of a cool effect to sort of cool down your image, make it seem a bit cold. And we have a few more here. July, Map, Radioactive, Rich, Royal, Soft, Soft Purple, Summer Spirit, Stained, Stark, Sunkiss, Supernatural, then we have ColorKit Tools, which is a separate category, but it's still here. So as long as you have this selected, you can look at them all. But we have a subcategory here, ColorKit Tools, and we have a leveler. We have an overlay. And we have a patch. And so let's drag on leveler. I'm going to disable cold a minute. Here it's a leveler. We can reveal points or hide them, which is these points here. We can change input black, input white, gamma curve, output black, output white. Okay, now let's have a little look here. So we can adjust the blacks here and the whites. we can look at the curves, and we can adjust the output black and the output white. Then we have overlay. Let's drag the overlay on and disable the leveler. We have a blend mode, which if you are familiar with photo editing programs, things like that, you should be familiar with blend modes. Blend modes allow you to basically adjust how you overlay something, like sort of, is it, for example, do you want to use multiply, do you want to use darken, lighten, screen? Screen's quite a popular one you use quite often, or overlay. Then you have lots of other options, but I ain't going to go into great depth about blend modes, but basically if you've used layers in some programs such as Photoshop or even in a video editor, you should know what the general idea is here. Then we have an overlay intensity, again the strength of it, how much of the effect you want applied. Then we have a remap, and under remap we can adjust our reds, greens and blues. Then we have patch. Let's drag patch on, turn off the overlay. Now on here we can reveal the patch, and that's a pretty good idea to have that on to help you. It gives you a bit of a guide. Then we have exposure, the saturation, the patch position, so we can adjust the patch position, so move it around, X and Y. Here we go. Patch angle, patch width, patch height, patch edge feather, and a feathering is how much sort of feathered the edge is. Again, if you use image editing, you'll know what that is. As you can see here with the feather down, we have very hard, harsh edges, and if we raise this up, it feathers the edge a bit, so there's a bit of a graduation there. Then we have patch intensity, and we have patch highlight and mid-tones and shadow colors, so we can adjust them individually. Let's just do that. There we go. Okay, now let's just take a quick look at the website, because all that with the leveler and etc., the patch, that sort of thing, basically that is a bit beyond just a simple review. You're going into sort of full tutorial sort of mode there. So I've just given you a brief look. Now let's have a look at the website. It says it comes with 34 preset color grades. As I've shown, those are the ones you can drag and drop on. Then you have extensive built-in color correction tools, and quickly and easily grade your footage. So a leveler, it works with your black and white input and output to assist you in quickly applying the exact curve you need. There's a picture of it there, and I've shown it to you. Overlay, it emulates bleach bypass film process for a subtle but stark contrast treatment. Now, it helps you get a striking contrast treatment, and basically a bleach bypass basically helps you get that more cinematic look quite quickly and easily to your movie or whatever it is you're making. And it costs $99, and it is a Final Cut Pro 10 plugin. It's not available, as far as I know, for Premiere. Some of theirs are available for both. This one isn't. Now, you can go to gallery and see some of the sort of before and afters here. You can look at the tech spec. Pretty standard stuff. Okay, so what do I think? It's actually pretty good, because a lot of time you buy these effect packs for Final Cut Pro 10, and what they are just presets. That is literally all they are. You get some options, such as, say, one that might say cool, one might say summer, whatever. You drag and drop it onto the clip like you do with this, but then that is it. That's as far as you really go. Whereas this, if we go back up to one of them, like cool, we have a lot of sliders and even various different colors we can apply. So you don't just drag and drop a preset, you get some actual manual settings, and that would be pretty much fine, I think, for the average person who is just trying to change the color a little bit. Maybe they've made as a hobby a little short film and just with a few friends or whatever, and you want to get a very basic effect, such as maybe you made a short horror film and you want to kind of cool it down, add a bit of blues to the shadow, etc. Things like that. You might want to, with this, say, select maybe even this one, cool, and then adjust the sliders. But then that is still giving you more control, the average person, just a little bit more control over it than just drag and dropping it and making do with what you get. If you drag and drop it and you wish it was a bit more intense or a bit more subtle, you can adjust that, as well as all sorts of other things such as saturation, brightness, secondary intensity, etc. Then if you really know what you're doing, really want to get into a lot more to do with color correction, you have the patch and the leveler, so you can really got a lot more control. Whereas the average color sort of kits you get for Final Cut are purely drag and drop. You find one that looks like what the sort of effect you want, such as cool, drag on, and that's pretty much as far as it goes. This one, you get a bunch of presets and a bunch of sliders and color drop down boxes. You can really customize it, so it's definitely at least worth a look. So I will put a link in the description. I would personally recommend it. It's a good, quick, easy way to do some color correction while at the same time having a lot of manual kind of control over that. It's from CrumplePop, only for Final Cut Pro X10, and I recommend you take a look. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video, and if you could do me a huge favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as it only takes a few seconds and will help me out a lot. Thanks.